Hello, everybody, and welcome to another My Music. And look, over there, I've got the whole room full today, absolutely bursting out. I'm going to be speaking to Bruiser straight after the Dancing Cat.
Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop. Keep on, don't stop.
Hello, folks. And you're coming from the area of Glasgow and the surroundings, is what you said to me earlier. But
Yes.
where exactly is that house? What's the postcode so that people can go and bother you? Not really. Whose house is it?
It's not a house; it's a building. So this is our practice space.
Right.
This is where the magic happens.
I love that. It's not a house; it's a building.
That's gonna be the next. That's gonna be the only tagline that we get out of this whole thing for the British will be. It's not a house; it's a building.
Right.
Yeah, it's a great name for an album, isn't it? It's not a house; it's a building. It
Maybe
feels
I'll-
like it's deep, meaningful, and means absolutely nothing all at the same time.
Extra people, I think.
Very quickly, I feel like we need to just quickly go round and get everybody to say hi and what they do within the group. So who's going to start?
I will start. I'm David. I am the frontman, singer, and play guitar.
Fantastic.
I'm Drew and I play drums.
I'm Chloe and I do backing vocals and synth.
Lovely.
And I play bass.
Nice.
I'm Matt, play guitar.
There you go. And did you all decide that that's what you were going to do when you came into the band, or did you just like got together at the pub one evening and went, right, who's going to play what?
No, I actually really work in marketing.
Right.
Never
So what happened?
The guitar was kind of thrust upon me. In my dad was terrible at maths, so it's just not going to be, mate. So
Yeah.
no, actually, we formed out of kind of we've been all in either separate bands or all together. Me and Dev have been together for about 10 years. I met him when I just turned 15. So we've been in a band before called Sway, and that dissipated when I was about 18. And then I met Drew when I was about 19, and we had a band called Relatives that COVID kind of finished. Dev has known Chloe for years and Kieran for a long time as well. And we just thought to combine our forces together and make maybe good music. Not sure.
Yeah.
But
So you were kind of all hanging together around the same sort of area and the same sort of scene, and you were just kind of biding your time and waiting for all of these other bands to collapse.
yeah.
Great. Yeah. Did anyone force that at any time? Who was the last person in?
Chloe.
Oh,
Chloe
yeah.
actually
Chloe.
well,
So Chloe, when you were in your band or whatever it was that you were doing before, by this time did they kind of just coerce you in? Were they like, right, we've pretty much got this together now, but we do need you, so you got to make your mind up?
I was like the garnish, I think.
The garnish.
But I wasn't actually in a band before. Me and David used to volunteer. In fact, Kieran as well, for the same music studio. We did a couple of like acoustic-y gigs together, and then around August of maybe 2024 it was, I got a message from David asking me if I wanted to provide some vocals. Officially joined the band as of March last year and have only been playing the synth since July, so it's kind of a rush job.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you'd literally only been playing synth since then, or you were playing synth before?
Nope, haven't touched it before.
Haven't touched it before. Wow. You're a quick
No.
learner then. Yeah.
I like to think so.
Right. Very cool. I like the fact you call yourself the garnish. Okay. I feel like then the rest of the band have to decide at some point what they are on the plate. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Who's the main part of the course then? Who's the main part of the course in the band?
you trying to start a fight?
Maybe. Oh,
Depends
or
what
do you all see yourself? Do you see this? Is it a collaborative effort when it comes to writing, or who's the main sort of writer in the band?
I mean, moving forward, we're planning on it being a more collaborative process. This kind of pretty much the difference. He was forming this band when he had absolutely no songs whatsoever, and he roped me into playing guitar for the first gig. And about a month went by before the gig, and I was like, "So what we playing?" And he was like, I don't have anything." So we wrote 4 songs in the space of like
2 days.
2 days, and then got Kieran in and enough for one gig.
The pressure of like not having anything, do you think it actually helped in terms of that writing process or not?
Yeah.
I would say so, because like it was down to my own doing really, because I was like really wanting to get back into music after mine and Matt's first band fell apart. So I was like, I'm going to push myself, get this sorted, and then I'd basically booked a gig before I had any members of the band. So
Smart.
very. Honestly, I'm so good at it. So then me and Matt sat down and we're like, right, we'll start writing. We've got maybe about 2 weeks till this gig, so we can kind of work with that. And then like, oh wait, this gig's actually next week, and it was only me, Matt, and Kieran at this point. So like, we don't have anyone else. So it was like an absolute ramshackle of a week trying to get a 6-song set finished and a full band together. But it actually worked out pretty well.
Yeah.
Considering the amount of stress that we actually went through.
Well, I'm going to say, having listened to your music, it sounds incredibly proficient. So, you know, whatever you did, right, behind the scenes, you might have been like ducks paddling without a canoe. But, you know, it sounds like you've been together for years. So well done on that.
Thank you.
Well, the album tracks were pretty much just a case of we'd been playing the same set list that me and Div wrote in the space of 2 days for 6 months. Because I'd said to Div, I wasn't sure if I wanted to continue doing music properly anymore. I was kind of just helping them out until I got someone else in, and then 6 months had passed and we still had no new songs. So I'd say that I would write a song, and then 1 song became 2, 2 became 4, 4 became 8, and then that ended up with a full album. So that's what we've got just now. But I made a promise to myself last year that I wasn't going to write anything else myself. I kind of wanted it to be more collaborative moving forward. So the album that's coming out is mostly myself, but it wouldn't be anything without the 4 of them here.
Now I'm going to ask about the whole production on it, because it's really beefy. Who helped you? That's a good word, isn't it? It is beefy, right?
Yeah. So initially it was recorded in Oban up north in a converted church.
Right.
The guy, Jamie Smith, his name, absolutely lovely guy. Basically built it from the ground up. So he'd been like recording Cayley bands and orchestral music. We were like basically the first rock metal band they'd recorded. And then we have a good friend, Gianluca, who's the guitarist for Gallus, who are also from Glasgow, who'd worked with me and Matt previously in our previous band. And I was like, he knows what he's doing. The effort that he puts in is immaculate, and he's always got different ideas. So, like, probably one of the best people you could work with. So we sat down, and I've lost count of how many nights we spent on that album. I think it was like 2 weeks solid. We were in the studio that Jan has till the early hours of the morning, perfecting it, and making it what it is. And then we got a guy, Martin Ballester, who done the mastering for Matt's previous band, Relatives, to master it all and make it sound even better.
Well, I'm just going to say to anybody that's listening to this that have never listened to Bruiser, it's the kind of music that you know that if this is played live, it's going to make your chest vibrate. It's really going to boom, 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 boom. Yeah.
That's the thing is, like, initially I'd spoken to Dave previously about the fact that with Drew and I's previous band Relatives, we recorded our EP live. I just feel that for me personally, I grew up on live records. Like one of the first CDs that I remember buying myself was, embarrassingly enough, it was Peter Frampton Comes Alive. Because
that's a seminal album. It's a seminal album. It's
it was records like that. Deep Purple made in Japan, Who Live at Leeds. Like this to me was like a band at the peak of their powers, and I think that if a band are nowhere near as good live as they are in the studio, then it's more studio effort than it is a live project. So for me, I thought there's a lot of songs that we played for the album that I thought this is going to lend itself better to a live setup. So we recorded everything in the space of 2 days and then mixed what we had there. And then we did pretty much overdubs with Jan at a studio in Glasgow, which kind of helped beef up the sound a bit. But everything, even the longest song in the album is the second last track called Buried at Home, and it's nearly 11 minutes long. And we did that's the one take that we did is the one take that's on the album, and that's the way it was the first time round. And we just ran through it once, and that's the way it should have sounded. So
yeah,
that's impressive. What I'm going to say though is that, do you know what? There are bands that do this kind of genre of music, but what they don't have, which you do have, and I'm going to blow smoke up your ass here, but it's melodic as well. You've got a pop sensibility to what you're doing as well, which I think is important. You know, I was really pleased the other day when I saw, and I don't know whether you've, because none of you are old enough, but I was really pleased to see that Sugar have got back together. And they're going back out again, and I loved the Sugar albums because it was almost Husker Du. It was had that rough edge to it and whatever, and the power in it, but there was pop at the center of it as well. And I think you actually managed that.
That's a good point, because going off of like previous bands that we've been in, like me and Matt were in, our first band was supposed to be shoegaze.
Oh, right.
It was like indie shoegaze mixed together. Matt's massively into like My Bloody Valentine as well, so, and it's like try to encapsulate all of our interests into the one being. And I think like even when I listen to it, I've said this to Matt plenty of times like that, there's certain aspects of the band that we were in previously in this, which I love about it. Yeah,
I think the pop hooks kind of thing comes from like my dad's been the biggest influence on me music wise. My dad was like a first generation punk, but he was more into the more as he's gotten older, he was more into like interested in a lot like power pop bands like the Records, Big Star. But his favourite band when I was growing up was Buzzcocks. So Buzzcocks were always playing in the house. So I feel like those kind of bands brought that into my songwriting when I started writing songs. And when I was like 12, 13, we used to go to a punk festival called Rebellion in Blackpool. And that's what I remember seeing. I'd never heard of them in my life, a band called Cock Sparrer. And they were headlining one day, and it's almost like if they got a bunch of guys into football just to write like pop punk songs. But like round about that time of like the early 80s, it is like the biggest like sing-along choruses you could ever imagine. But it's like it's hard and it's gritty, but there's that pop sensibility is in there. And I think at the end of the day, it's like if your song's not got a hook in it or anything, then what's the point if that's the kind of music that you're going to make? Especially if you're wanting to get radio play, you're not going to get that without like some sort of like pop sensibility or a hook in there.
I've never really understood it. I suppose if you want to make something where you're deconstructing music and whatever, and you want to get away from obvious sort of like choruses and middle eights and everything else, just to be different, then that's fine, right? And there's always been someone that's like taking it off in a different direction. But I do feel like in the sort of kind of rock metal arena, there's been quite a lot of bands that are literally just built on the bigness of the sound and whatever, but they've completely forgotten to put that melody line in there or whatever. And as someone that was a singer myself, it's real hard if there's nothing there to sort of like really get your teeth into from a melody point of view. That's I wouldn't want to sing that every night.
Yeah,
I mean, you feel like you can really sing these songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something that I think when it's been the hardest thing for us has been trying to pigeonhole ourselves, which is the one thing that I hate when a band does certain things. But we also take a lot of influence from a lot of shoegaze kind of music. But for me, this new wave of shoegaze bands that are coming out now, that is the exact issue with it. Is like they've got the thing in the front where they are trying to be as loud as possible, and they've got a jazz master and they've got a jazz chorus or whatever else and loads of distortion pedals, but there's no songs in there. It's just it's just look, we look aesthetically pleasing and we have the right equipment, so therefore we must be good. But it is probably the easiest genre to make sound bad if there's nothing decent at its core. As I've said about My Bloody Valentine, it's like at the end of the day they were just a pop band that just stuck some fuzz pedals over everything. Like they is just pop songs at the end of the day. But if you're not getting that's the core of your sound, then it's just there's no substance there.
Well, it sounds like you lot are having great fun with this music, which is great. I mean, that's a great starting point for any band, is that you're enjoying it and you're having great fun with it. How's it being received? Who are you finding are the people that are getting into Bruiser?
It's been odd. I've found that quite a lot of people. We're getting a lot of fans from Germany. A lot of people interested from Germany. More people interested from America than there has been here.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and it seems to be something that it's been frustrating at times, because you kind of think that when you are a band from like a city like Glasgow, there was such a burgeoning music scene in Glasgow like 10 years ago when myself and Dave were starting out, and it all just seems to be ignored in a way, not necessarily entirely ignored, but almost just like it's like, oh, that's cool, move on. But people from across the pond seem to have, like, they actually buy into it, and they're interested long term, and they're interested in the actual future of the band. For a guy on Facebook for a while now called Martin, and he's been interested in the band from a post I made in a pedal board group on Facebook like 3 years ago. But every time that we post something or we have a new song out or something, he's one of the first people to share it, one of the first people to message to say, this sounds great, this reminds me of this, what pedals are you using for this, how can I sound like this? And it's cool though, because like, but there's people we see on a daily basis or weekly basis or whatever, and it's like we've got a guy who's like halfway around the world who I'll maybe see once in my lifetime, and he cares more than people who I would consider a friend.
Yeah, the big thing for me was I've got an older brother. It's his birthday today, and he's a techno DJ, and he loves it. So it's like that was a big one for me. Like, obviously, as Matt's saying, it's like people across the pond. There was a guy in America who, when Matt put early demos up on Reddit, and he was a former member of the band Comeback Kid. So they were like, what, kind of like were they hardcore?
Yeah, kind of like
a hardcore, but it was like deep south, like Tennessee. Like, he says, "Oh, love this sort of thing. Whenever you're over in America, let me put you on a show." So it's like, it's, as Matt said, it's weird that all these people from other countries are finding us.
Well, do you know what though? Here's the thing, right? What you've got to remember here is some of the biggest bands in the UK. Actually, I mean, because I've read countless autobiographies by musicians. Okay, it's about all I read, to be honest. Everything else is pointless. And folks out there, if you're reading a self-help business book at the moment, put it down. Just read a book by a musician. It's so much better. You'll learn so much more about life and business and everything else from that. But the amount of English bands that have started off and they did better in America than here. Right? There's been a lot of bands that, you know, did really well here and then struggled to break America. But if you can break America, then bring it back here. Seriously, that's what you've got to do. That's my advice from today, is break America. And the other thing is, they will pay. The Americans will pay. Get into your crowdfunding. Set up a crowdfunding page. Say, we want to tour America. Boom, boom, boom. Sign up here. Give us the money. One of my favorite bands, they had a pivotal moment in their career where literally they had a lot of people in America saying, right, we want you to play here. They set up a crowdfunding page. They got 125,000. flew over to America. So they
Fair.
did the tour. It's to do it, you know.
One
There you
thing,
go.
our mates Gallus, they are massively loved in the Netherlands. So like when we were recording the album with Jan, he was like, "Break your teeth in Europe."
Yep.
Europeans love live music. They love turning up because even like Gallus going into like they played Reeperbahn Festival and it was packed. They turned up and they went on tour one year, turned up to this pub and it was absolutely packed out, and everyone like they're never out of Europe. Basically, every year they've always got a tour going in Europe, but it's basically it's,
Germany, Holland, bits of Italy have always loved harder edged music. So I honestly think if you can you know get on some radio shows in America, start putting out the feelers. What you also ought to do, by the way, is if you're you know, if you've got a techno DJ, is you need to let the stems go out there, let people remix some of it, get it techno, and let it go into the clubs. Why not?
I kid you not, the amount of times my brother has begged me for the stems. But
Yeah.
I think it might be on the cards, maybe.
Get the remix album finished.
Yeah.
Listen. If as long as it sort of like doesn't end up sounding like a complete dog's dinner, I feel like if it makes your music more accessible to a bigger audience, there you go. You know,
Yeah.
and I feel like some especially these days where there's so much music going out there and everybody's releasing stuff left, right, and so you've got to follow where your audience is. You've got to follow. You know, you've almost got to like just ignore where it's just not working and go. You know, it's like when I started this, you know, I was amazed. It's like, cool, that many people are listening to America. I get comments from America all the time. Yeah, I've got a decent following over here as well, and then Germany is big. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where in the world that following is. If you're getting the viewership from a particular country and whatever, or listenership, go with it. You know,
100%. Yeah.
No point going, oh, I'm gonna. Yeah, but why aren't they getting me into Tuts down the road? You know, it doesn't matter. Oh, I'm flying to Phoenix tomorrow to do a gig. Yeah, and someone's paying me. That's all that matters, really.
So rare.
Where would you most like to play?
Oh,
Good question.
I'd love to guddle about Germany. I think the scene in
Yeah.
Germany is super cool. The country is great. Good trains, just cut about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just make sure, my friend, that you take your own paracetamol with you. Other drugs are available, and also don't overtake the recommended dosage. Just to cover my ass. But yeah, make sure that you do take any of those standard sort of hangover cures, should I say, with you, because over there it's really expensive.
Yeah,
you know. Whereas we can walk into a pharmacy, walk into like you know a supermarket and get a packet for 33p. It's like 7 or 8 quid over there. So yeah, just be sensible. But yeah, why not? Go over to Germany.
Yeah, I would love to hit Europe. Well,
we're going to Italy in November.
In November,
I think have any of you actually been to Italy before? I haven't.
No,
I
I
have.
haven't. I've only been to Tenerife, and that's in nowhere near Italy. But
Why mention it? Why mention it?
Tenerife's lovely. Tenerife's great. No, I would love to go to America as well at one point. I think it's just a dream for any band really from the UK. It's like, yeah, I want to hit America, I want to hit Europe. Yeah, it's just your general places, like somewhere that isn't where you're from. So
yeah.
So not as Matt said, we're going to Italy in November, and I generally cannot wait.
Who do you think you'd make a great support band for?
So that depends, because I mean, there's times where I think there's certain songs in the album that would fit a more heavy audience, but I don't think we would lend ourselves well to it. I wouldn't exactly like have us supporting like Converge or something. But I think we'd make a good support band for Slowdive.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
I should go and look for Sugar. So see if Sugar want a support band.
I would quite happily support. I'm more of a Husker Du man myself, but I would not turn down Bob Mould.
No.
Yeah.
I just feel like that could be, could be edgy enough. I think it could be good. I think it's going to be a popular tour because they're going to be playing stuff from the 90s.
Yeah.
That would be good. And maybe someone that's on the sort of heavy metal sort of techno side of things as well. That's like combining that more electronic edge as well. That would be a good starting point, and that you could take your brother along then as well.
Oh yeah.
he could completely open it. I'm sure they wouldn't care. Yeah.
People
basically here's the whole thing that you do. You let your stems go out. You get a sort of dance version of your thing. Your brother comes out. He plays that for the first 20 minutes, right? Then you play your set, and they're like, "Well, I've kind of heard this before." They have, but they haven't. And right, then you play your set, and then it's whoever it is. Yeah. Brilliant.
Good show.
There you go.
I'm telling me pack your suitcase.
That's the way forward. What's next on the agenda for Bruiser?
The album.
Yeah, the album's out 27th of February. Portals is out today.
Yep.
Brand new single today. Gigs wise, we have our headliner coming up in March, 14th of March, right here in Glasgow. We've also got a couple of shows elsewhere. We're playing Newcastle in April, as well as Aberdeen. So we're starting to go further afield, which is good, because we've basically been not cornered in Glasgow, but it's like it's the only place that is kind of giving us shows at the moment. So it's good that we've got these options to go elsewhere now. So yeah, we're really looking
That's the other thing as well. You may find as you travel a little bit further afield in this country that you suddenly find a fan base as well here, right?
Yeah.
I think you'd probably do really well in Bristol, near where I am. I think you would. I think you go down very well. There's some bands, making similar kind of music, not quite like you, but a similar kind of music down here. Bristol's always had a bit of a darker edge. You probably go down really well. So check it out.
Yeah,
Maybe if you get the opportunity, come down and do the odd support slot down here. I think that would be really good.
Yeah, I think
get you to travel.
Yeah, aye. No, because I think we're touring as well. That's part of the tour. So hopefully we can kind of grow that more and add a few more places in, because I think we're talking about Sheffield and Liverpool as well. But if we can hit Bristol, then I don't see why not.
Absolutely.
Cool. So the album's coming out. Is it just digital? Is it available on actual formats as well, or?
It's digital for the time being. We are looking at the CDs. Vinyl is completely out of the question for just now. As much as I love collecting records, I think it's just a bit of a money pit at the minute. But it'll be on Bandcamp, and it'll be pay what you want on Bandcamp as well, because
wow,
when you're combating AI and Spotify, you may as well let more people hear it, the better.
Well, listen, if you're watching, folks, when you go on Bandcamp, you can also gift people things as well. And I know there's probably a fair few people watching this afternoon who are big music fans, and you'd probably want to go and support. But I also know that there may be the odd few people who are complete skinflints. And so I've got something for you, which is that this is obviously coming out at the end of February, but of course we've got Valentine's coming up, and you could go and waste all of your money that your hard-earned money in your local supermarket buying cheap chocolate that's covered as a rose, or a card that's a load of rubbish or something like that. Or you could go on to Bandcamp and you could gift Bruiser's album to your loved one, and spend a few pounds. and they may not like it, or they might like it. It might be the beginning of a brilliant part of your relationship, or it might be the end, but it doesn't really matter, does it? They weren't really going to like the shit you were going to buy them from elsewhere anyway. So, you know, if that's if there we go. Look, what a great campaign. Buy Bruiser for Valentine's Day.
Like a big guitar tone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
you will end up buying it for each other for Valentine's Day. That would be nice.
all the money goes to getting Kieran a passport for Italy.
Yeah.
Please. Please spend well.
Just there you go. That's the thing. I mean, that's something to. But no, in all seriousness, you know, why not give the gift of a bit of music this Valentine's Day? What you should do is, you know, like the Cadbury's chocolate campaign, where it's like send somebody a secret bar.
Yeah.
Not really much of a secret. Perhaps people could do that with the Bruiser album. You know, just pick somebody random, like Valentine's used to be when I was a kid, when you literally did send it to someone without your name on it, and like they had to cut, you know, they had to guess who it was from, and they always picked the other boy, right? And you never got the credit. Now other people could do that. They can just go on, pay for the album, and send it to people as a gift, but don't say who you are. You know, don't put your name on it or anything like that. And then they can guess whether it's from you. I love that. Oh.
Shit.
well, do you know what? Do you remember when U2 put their album on everybody's iPod?
Oh,
Yeah.
I've always just got over it.
Everybody woke up that morning and went, "What is this on my iPod?" That kind of backfired, but this is different because, you know, this is decent music. So there we go. Thank you for coming on today. It's been a pleasure meeting you all. I wish you all the best with all of this. Do follow up on the American thing and let us know how that goes. I do think that you should kind of pursue that a little bit, really. Thing of like, you know, there could be an opportunity there to get into America. Do try and get on some things like this in America and kind of start getting the name out there a little bit more. I think that would be a good idea. Some radio stations, some podcasts in America, some of those could carry you in. And
tomorrow, yeah, we're on America tomorrow. So hopefully it's a start.
Great. And guys, if you're listening out there, you can help in all of this. If you want Bruiser to come to America and you're listening to this in America now, tell them. Right. And, you know, if you start getting several people saying that, then you can start a Kickstarting page and then you can raise the money. Then you'll be on a plane.
Yep.
This time next year, you'll be in America, soaking it all up.
Yes.
Which will be the only thing we'll be allowed to export to America by then. So there you go. Just make sure there's no tariffs on Bruiser. That's what we're saying. Folks, thanks so much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure to meet you. And folks, thanks for listening as well. Don't just leave it. If you're listening to this on Spotify now, all you need to do, and I've said it before, is move your thumb from there to there and press. And there's the latest single from Bruiser. Add it to a playlist. Then go and find them on the socials. Say hello and tell them that you want to play them to come and play at a place near you soon. And that's you know, all makes the world go round. Go on to Bandcamp, and when it says like 10 quid for the album or whatever, leave 20 quid. You know, because every day's a nice day when you do that. We will be back soon with more of my music, but until then, from Bruiser and myself, thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Right.